So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're doing Master Duel deck profile, and with that regards, we're gonna talk about the new branded supports, or well, basically the new branded spell and traps that just been added last 29th of November. Now there is one specific branded card that, or branded trap card to be exact, that is really showing off in Master Duel recently. Now this is Branded Expulsion. Now what this card does is just tribute one fusion monster on your side of the field, then target one, or well, basically target two non-fusion monsters that are banished and or in either graveyards. Special summon those monsters to one of each field. Now if ever you tributed a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz, then you can special summon both monsters to your side of the field. That would be beneficial for you if you want to get more resources out to your side, but with this specific card, it works perfectly with a specific lockdown of Edo, the Supreme Magical Force. Now, what this card does specifically is you cannot summon monsters. Now, you don't want this monster to be special summoned to your side of the field, but instead to your opponent's side. Now, this will evidently lock them out from ever special summoning or even normal summoning monsters to their side of the field, thus creating a lockdown. Now, I would say this would be somewhat okay in a sense, but if this would to be, like, for example, destroyed, then this monster would be special summoned to your side of the field, which, of course, you won't do any plays at all, because the only thing that you can do to have this opted out is, well, basically, you have to ram this to another attacking position monster, or basically remove this or tribute this one for Forbidden Droplet or whatsoever. Other than that, I don't think this card would be beneficial for you in some other place. Second reason being, this would take up two slots. One slot for Expulsion and another slot for Edo. You can do better just having Expulsion on your deck. It's really up to you guys on your gameplay, on how you really play out your branded Despia deck. Now, if you don't want to use Edo, there are some circumstances, or there are some cards that you can actually use. So these are the four cards that you might actually use instead of Edo. Now there is also Archlord Christia, which of course, once summoned to your side of the field, you can basically lock your opponent from ever special summoning a monster. Second of all, you have Nightmare Corruptor Ibling, which restricts your opponent from ever special summoning except for Link Summon. Now this is somewhat of a 70 to 30 type of thing, where your opponent is using Dragon Links, but in some cases you're just gonna run through basically Floowanderees and Branded Despias nowadays. Other than that, you can also use Barrier Statue of the Abyss and Barrier Statue of the Heaven to lock your opponent out from ever special summoning a non-specific attribute monster. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about the branded deck. So the branded deck, guys, this is what I formulated for this day. Now basically, you might see here 5 copies of Despia monsters. Now this is because I am scarce with regards to some of the branded cards, namely Branded in High Spirit. It's really good if you have 3 copies of this. 1 copy also for Albaz of the Ashen. You prefer having 3 copies of this, and I'm scarce with regards to SR and UR shards. So yeah, I'm just doing what I can do with the cards that I have. Basically, since we're running with Despias, this card, Branded Banishment, is pretty good actually. So with regards to the main deck, we are running 2 copies of Tragedy, 3 copies of Ash Blossom in case your opponent is dropping off Maxi, 3 copies of Fallen of Albaz, 3 copies of Alibur, the Jester of Despia, just to search out your branded fusion or any branded spell or trap for that matter. 2 copies of Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous. Now this will be beneficial if you're going second in some cases, but having 2 copies really is somewhat a good ratio for me. 1 copy of Tri-Brigade Mercurier, just to negate out any nuisance when you're trying to do your combo. Spring and Skip, it's kind of like Alibur. You can run 3 of this if you want. If you have a complete set of the branded cards, then I would like to advise you just to run 1 copy of Alibur or 2 copies of Alibur, then focus mostly with 3 copies of Kit for that matter, since they work similarly. The benefit for Kit actually is this card can be special summoned if there is a face-off fusion monster that states Fallen of Albaz in its name. Other than that, one copy of Albaz the Ashen, 3 copies at best if you want. It's pretty good to have this. This also increases the attack of this monster by 200 for every monster in your graveyard, so it's pretty good. And also 1 copy of Archlord Christia. This is because I'm running with Branded Expulsion. If ever I summon Albion to the field, thus bringing out Christia. Well, it's really easy to bring out a branded card, to be honest. Aliber is one of those cases. Spring and Skit is one of those cases as well. Other than that, you can also have Albion the Shrouded Dragon. 3 copies of this, and this is also named as Fallen of Albaz if you want to use its effect for a fusion summon, or use this monster as a fodder for fusion summon. You can also send this back to the deck just to draw 1 card. It's really good. Then you have your Spell and Traps, Branded Fusion, 3 copies at best, and it's really good for the deck. 1 copy of Theater, 1 Branded Lost, 2 copies of Cold by the Grave just to negate those Ash Blossoms or even Maxi. 2 copies of Branded Opening, 1 copy of Branded in High Spirits, 3 copies if you have 3. 2 copies of Branded in Red, 1 copy of Branded Sword. Now the thing about this is you can banish this card to get a copy of any card that mentions Fallen of Albaz, or you can use the effect. If you manage to activate this card's effect, this can actually summon tokens with a 500 power on your side of the field, depending on the number of branded cards that you banished. 3 copies of Branded Banishment, really good with the Despia monsters. 3 copies of Branded Expulsion sends out all of your best cards to your side of the field. It's really good. Aliber on the field, get a copy of whatever branded card that you have. And lastly, 1 Branded Retribution. So this can also negate if there is a face-up fusion monster that you want to return back to your extra deck, or 2 fusion monsters in your graveyard. So it's really, really good. So that is the main deck for you guys. Extra deck is revolved around, well, basically Mary J, the same composition for a Branded Despia deck, but we are just going towards the most reliable ones that we know and love. 1 Titanic Lad, 1 Sprine, the Iron Dash Dragon, 2 copies of Albion the Branded, 1 Quartus, 2 Mirror Jades, 1 Masquerade, 2 Lobelians, 1 new card that is the Lenatus, or the Alba Lenatus. Now this is pretty good if you're running all Albaz monsters. This is really good against, or really formidable against Dragon Maids. You sacrifice their dragon monsters for this monster. So it's pretty interesting to go up against Dragon Maid's deck. 1 Predaplant Veritum, 2 copies of Guardian Chimera, and 1 Despian Proskenia. Now this is the deck profile for you guys today. Let's move towards the replay and hope you enjoy. So here we are, guys, with the replays, and I'm just gonna have 3 replays for you guys today, just to showcase the branded or the new branded cards. So to start off, we won the coin toss. We got a copy of Fallen of Albaz, 1 Spring and Skit, 1 Branded Opening, 1 Branded in High Spirits, and lastly 1 Branded Banishment. Now since we don't have a copy of any Despia monster for this lineup, we will sacrifice this one for Branded Opening. So Branded Opening first. We drop off Branded Banishment, but we got Ash Blossom. So nevertheless, it's okay since we got Spring and Skip. But yeah, we use Branded in High Spirits, reveal Fallen of Albaz, and then send 1 fusion monster from our extra deck to the graveyard. And then reveal or get a copy of Albion the Shrouded. There we go. And use the effect of Albion to send our Theater to the graveyard and get a copy of Branded Expulsion. Now we summon Kit, bring out a copy of Branded Fusion, and then return our Banishment to our deck. Now at this point on, we use Branded Fusion to fusion summon Albion, sending our Christia and our Fallen of Albaz. Albion will use its effect, banishing the monsters to summon Mirror Jade. So if ever this is the case, one of the things that you may take note if you want to use Expulsion, you can banish Archlord Christia or any of your monsters out of play, thus removing the effect of, or thus removing some targets for Cold by the Grave. So just a thought for people who are using Expulsion. So setting our Expulsion and on our opponent's turn, we use the Expulsion. Sacrifice our Albion to spell summon Christia and Albaz to the field, thus locking our opponent from ever special summoning. He summons Summoner Monk, and that's basically it once he noticed he can't do a special summon. So game number 2, guys, we are going up against Branded Despius. Now basically, take note on what he is doing for his deck, and take note what I'm going to do for the branded cards. So we got a starting hand of Tragedy 1 kit, 1 branded in red, and 2 copies of Branded Fusion. It was pretty good. We started off with Branded Fusion, sending our Christia and our Albaz to the graveyard, summoning our Albion. Same old play. Albion will use its effect, removing Christia and Albaz to the field, from the field, summoning Titanic Lad, and that of course will give us a safe play from ever getting called by the grave. So that's basically it. Summon Spring and Skit, get a copy of Expulsion, and then returning our Tragedy to our deck, setting our Expulsion, and then on our turn we use the effect of Expulsion. But he chained with Branded Opening just to spell summon a monster, which of course it doesn't really matter. See, so he dropped off a copy of his Edo already from his hand. Basically, even though there is Fallen Valvas on his side of the field, and this is actually a mirror match, it doesn't really matter to me because Archlord Christia will forbid him from special summoning. So he summoned Albert to the field, and then basically all he needs, well, he used the effect of Ad Libitum here, and then setting up a copy of his Expulsion, and I think that's branded in red that he set on the side. Regardless, it was fine. So Branded in High Spirits is activated, revealing my Albaz. He chained with Branded Opening, sending his Branded Fusion and getting a copy of another Ad Libitum of Despia. So sending my fusion monster from the extra deck to the graveyard, get a copy of Albaz the Ashen, and we summon Albaz the Ashen with 2600 beat power. There we go. Destroy all his monsters, and basically he can't do anything else since we're going up against a branded deck, which most often of times he doesn't really have an out to. So that is it. We won because our opponent actually surrendered. So last game, guys, we are dealing with the same guy right here. To start off, we won the coin toss. 1 Ash Blossom, 1 Fallen of Albaz, 1 Alibert, 1 branded in red, and 1 branded Banishment. So we summon Alibert to the field, get a copy of our Branded in High Spirits, use Branded in High Spirits, sending our Albaz and our Albion to the graveyard, getting hold of a copy for Albion, setting our Branded in red, and use our copy of Albion to send Branded Opening to the graveyard, setting our Branded Opening and setting a copy of our Banishment. What did we? Oh, with the use of Branded in High Spirits, of course. Oh, with the use of, sorry, Albion, we set our copy for Expulsion. Now at this point, he uses Branded Fusion. I tried to use Ash Blossom, but he has a copy of Crossout Designator, which was pretty bad. But we got Branded in red for that matter, nevertheless. Then we fuse into Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. Now it's not that much, but I think that's the only play we can do for that matter. There you go, and he was free to move whatever he chooses. So Edo and Fallen Valbaz has been sent to the graveyard. He will do the Expulsion play, or the lockdown. So we got Branded Expulsion on our side. So take note, guys, this card can special summon Edo from either player's graveyard or from either player's banished zone. So I can special summon Edo to his side of the field from his graveyard. We managed to summon Guardian Chimera here. Regardless, it was fine. But yeah, Edo to his side of the field, and basically that's restricting him from ever special summoning another monster, or summoning his another monster for that matter. There we go. And then it's gonna do battle, destroying a copy of my Masquerade. And that's basically it on his turn. Special summon Masquerade on his end phase and getting a copy of High Spirits because there is a fusion monster sent during this turn. Now, on my turn, I used Branded Fusion, but we got Ash Blossom. Yeah, it really sucks that we got Ash Blossom. So at this point on, I should have gone with Branded Opening to get a copy of another Despia monster, but I think I made a misplay here, thus costing me my duel. Regardless, it was fine. It was fine. I should have gone with Quartus and then set my monsters to defense position, thus avoiding the whole Ido removing from the graveyard. But regardless, look what happens here. So with the help of Guardian Chimera, I destroyed his monster. Then on my turn, yeah, there we go. Ido is spell summoned once more. So he's gonna ram his Ido to my Guardian Chimera. And there's no way that I can actually stop that, basically. But yeah, starting from the Branded Opening play until at this point on, that cost me my duel. So he was free to move whatever he likes. He got a copy of Expulsion, and then I was locked out afterwards for the Expulsion lockdown, or the Ido lockdown. You just have to fast forward this. Yeah, so on this end turn, start of my phase, he managed to get a hold of a lot of monsters, basically. So that cost me my duel, actually, for the game. There we go. And on my turn, summon Albaz, and then use the effect of Expulsion. There we go. And with the help of Brandon in red and the back row, he managed to summon his Mirror Jade once more to the field. There. So I'm now locked out, and I can't even summon a monster. So that's basically it. If you have, if you're going up against a mirror match who is using Expulsion, you can also use the Expulsion. You can also use the Ido against them. That's one other play that you can take note. But yeah, I surrendered here because I lost the game here. So that is the deck profile for you guys today, and those are the replays. So if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Keep safe, good luck, and have a good night. Bye-bye.